At this moment the charioteer approached and said next to the sword god, "Zhu Yang has been wronged this time. How can you scold him? Let's go to my charioteer academy. I'll treat you both to a welcome dinner." The holy monk chanted a prayer and said, "Dear patrons, why not visit my Vajra Academy?" Faizi laughed and said, "The Vajra Academy only has dormitories. What good food can there be? Now this central city has left you with unpleasant memories. How about going to my overseas Sanxian city Dongsu Academy instead?" Yanjun retorted, "You should go to my Chaos Element Academy. There are plenty of girls and a lot of alcohol." Upon hearing about wine, Zhu Yang couldn't help but drool. The sword god glanced at him and frowned slightly, immediately dismissing the idea of going to the Chaos Element Academy. The sword god said, "This place is a sorrowful one for my disciple. Let's go. Fuyeazi, take us to Sanxian City." Fayeazi glanced at the others with satisfaction, feeling quite pleased. Fayeazi said, "You stand together, and I will use the void mud hole to take you." At that moment the elder approached. He said, "Sword god, you have been wronged. I apologize to you." The sword god coldly remarked, "I know it's not easy for you either, but please don't let the flames reach me and my disciple. I hope this is the last time. Are you still angry with me?" The minister sighed and said, "The sword god said, what happened back then is in the past. There's no need to mention it again. Fuyeazi, lead us on." Fayeazi nodded and said, "Elder, do come to my Sanxian city for a visit. I will take my leave first. Speak, your eyes change, unleash your gifted abilities." Suddenly the void twisted, forming a hollow space the height of a person. The elder gazed intently in the direction he had left, memories of the past surfacing in his mind. After a long time he sighed and said, "I was wrong to you back then." Chapter 73. Deceiving Lin Fan again, Lin Yu goes hunting outside the city. To Chang, Lin Yu put down the watch. The scene in the live broadcast had a great impact on him, but the outcome was very reassuring. Lin Yu smiled and said, "It's good to be saved. By the way, how is Lin Fan doing now?" Lin Yu thought of Lin Fan's temperament and worried that he might give up, so she immediately communicated her talent ability to connect with him. At this moment, in the wilderness, Lin Fan's Tang Dao had broken into 2 halves, so he simply discarded it and used energy to slay his enemies. He had been killing for a long time and was tired of it, so he simply sat on a big rock to rest. Taking food out of the backpack, I took a hard bite and muttered, "Why didn't you win again, huh? Can you tell me how many upgrade points I have?" He had been killing for a day and a night. Now his clothes were covered in dried blood, and a pungent smell clung to him, making him miss Lin Yu and that small room even more. Although the cabin is simple, at least it has a bed and a shower, unlike here where you have to be careful of bugs crawling on you while bathing. "Ah, I miss home. You can just contact me." He prayed and then took a big bite of meat, mumbling to himself as he chewed. Suddenly a familiar voice echoed in his mind, bringing him instant joy. "Is it enough, huh?" Lin Fan immediately asked. Lin Yu glanced at the vitality balance, shook her head, and said, "It's still early. You've only completed 30%. Lin Fan, with a mournful face, said, "Master, I've nearly killed all the ferocious beasts here. I need to find another place. Or could you make an exception?" Lin Yu suggested, "Dream on. You should go save the city ruins. There are countless mutated rats and bugs there." Lin Yu encountered her senior brother in the ruins of the city, a place teeming with fierce beasts, and they traveled in packs. Moreover, mice and insects are not highly valued, and adventurers rarely hunt there, with no natural enemies. Without regular human cleaning, the fierce beasts in that place have increased, even showing a trend of spreading. Lin Fan grimaced and said, "Back then you had your avatars to help. Now I'm going alone. and if I'm surrounded, it'll be disastrous. Lin Yu said, "Don't be afraid of death. If you die, you can come back. Let's go to this place. Don't eat the clothes. Let's go now." Lin Fan nodded aggrievedly. His main body spoke up, and his resistance was futile. "By the way, let me update your skills." Lin Yu said then he used his communication talent to synchronize and transmit the skills he had just learned. He didn't dare to go because the distance was too far. The distance was great, and the transmission was quite difficult. Lin Yu spent a full 2 hours to complete this step. However, it's much easier than taking back Lin Fan and redistributing. He recalled the scene when Lin Fan was separated, almost feeling drained, and shivered. Lin Yu said, "All right, now you've learned Wan Bounding Kaiju, and your strength has increased significantly. You can go with peace of mind." Seeing Lin Fan still looking listless, Lin Yu knew it was time for another blow to the heart. "Lin Fan, this time you've worked hard. Once you complete the task, I will find you a talent stone to grant you talent." "How? Really?" Lin Fan was overjoyed. Because he was an external incarnation and not a natural life form, he couldn't use the divine platform to awaken his talent, but he could use the skill stone and talent stone. His greatest pain and weakness is his lack of talent. Although he possesses many powerful skills from his body, skills are ultimately not as effective as talent. Using talent is like avoiding obstacles, while using skills involves more steps and becomes more laborious. Of course, it's true. Even though there are no gifted talents now, there will definitely be in the future. You know I already have 3 talents, and I can get 2 talent stones. Will the third block be far? Liu Yu's words were very tempting to Lin Fan. He patted his chest and said, "Don't worry, I'll go to the 9 cities ruins right now." "Well, go ahead. Don't let me down." "I will definitely not let you down." Lin Yu watched him leave, feeling the sense of relief as she withdrew her consciousness. "I secretly thought, is Lin Fan too easy to fool? Forget it. He won't die anyway, and I have 10 guards. It's only my job to trick him. I'm deceiving my own doppelganger. Is this really deception?" "Clearly not." "Stand up and walk towards the door." Fan sat in the courtyard, and the clones opened their eyes one by one, turning into streaks of light and flying into Lin Yu's body. "Relying solely on Lin Fan is too slow. I should leave the city as well." Lin Yu arrived at the Awakens Guild again, and as soon as he appeared, he was recognized by someone. "Lin Yu has arrived. Hello, Mr. Lin." "Mr. Lin, are you here to take on a mission or to test your combat strength?" "Mr. Lin, did you watch yesterday's live stream? It was so exciting. The sword god is so powerful. From now on, the sword god will be my idol. Mr. Lin can enter the Supreme Academy and become a student of the sword god. It's truly enviable. Quickly bring Mr. Lin's sword god. I will help him." Mr. Lin stepped aside and let Mr. Lin choose the task first. Lin Yu was slightly taken aback, not expecting yesterday's live broadcast to have such a big impact. Lin Yu also did not hold back, walking straight to the task bar, her finger sliding across the screen, searching for suitable tasks. Hunting the earthhorn bear requires the bear to be intact, especially the bear's horns, which must not be damaged in any way. After accepting the mission, the location of the earth corner bear will be provided. Request for the 4th class battleship. Return to Lin Danfang. Acquisition of Lin Danfang. Price is negotiable. Request to collect 30 types of waste values from Beihua Valley. Requirement: 10, limited to 10 days. Reward is a plant encyclopedia. Request for a 3-tier battleship. This will do. Lin Yu clicked to accept the task. First, you qualify. Please complete the task within the specified time. Lin Yu accepted the mission and left the Awakens Guild. heading towards the outskirts of the city. He had just left, and the murmurs began to rise. I originally thought his support was gone, but now I realize I was shallow. Senior Sword God, I had only heard of your name before. Not knowing the details about you, now I realize how great you once were. After all, they are the first batch of human powerhouses. Those who survived from that chaotic time were not weak. I started to envy Lin Yu. Why envy him? The mortality rate in that place is too high. He might not make it back alive. That's true. Bayhue Valley. This is a canyon filled with straight waistlines. Vines, waste flowers, and waste trees grow abundantly in the canyon here. Looking around, it was a sea of green, but he knew this place was very dangerous. Those green plants may seem safe, but they are actually dangerous. Lin Yu did not enter the canyon, but sent his clone into hunt. As long as he doesn't run out of his village. As long as the control range is maintained, the clone will not dissipate. Lin Yu created several doppelgangers to protect herself. He then hid in a secluded safe place, opened his watch, and browsed the news. At that moment, the watch chimed, and Lin Yu opened it to find it was a call from her senior brother. Didn't he go to Dongsu Academy? Why did you call me? Click to answer. The holographic projections of the two appeared above each other's wristwatches. Junior apprentice, let me introduce you to your master uncle. He pointed at the several impressive deans beside him and said drunkenly. Chapter 74. The big shots gathering. Lin Yu is about to go to the boudoir. Lin Yu looked at the drunken big shots, her expression strange. They were seen playing with a white tiger, toying with flames, flexing their muscles, and fiddling with a compass, looking nothing like the wise figures they were supposed to be. The coachman looked up and saw Lin Yu's silhouette, chuckled, and said, "You must be Lin Yu, right? It was not easy to have a meal together. Your senior brother often ignores you, saying you are the best talent he has found, truly possessing the potential of a sword god. Although I know he is just being polite." But Lin Yu felt delighted inside. The sword god transformed from B-level talent to SS-level talent on the battlefield, breaking through life and death. As for Lin Yu, he transformed just by hunting outside the city. This transformation was too easy, indicating that Lin Yu has great potential. Yan Zhen retracted the flickering flame of his fingers and said, "Lin Yu, are you interested in coming to my Chaos Element Academy?" As the words fell, Lin Yu felt a surge of frustration. "Does your academy really enjoy poaching talents like this?" Professor Wan Now Yu, the dean, are here again. This can't be. Is it a tradition of your academy? Lin Yu felt inwardly that not only was he full of flaws, but everyone else was too, all looking strangely at Yan Zhen, making Yan Zhen feel uneasy all over. At this moment, the sword god spoke. "You haven't changed your habit of poaching students, have you? However, my student won't be transferring. Lin Yu, you refuse him." "Let me refuse a big shot. It's impressive that you thought of it." Lin Yu looked at the two big shots, hesitating before finally saying helplessly, "Master Yan, actually Professor Wan from your esteemed academy has already invited me, and senior brother. I also had a fight with him." Lin Yu didn't expect that her words would immediately provoke a burst of laughter. Lin Yu looked at them strangely, not understanding what was so funny. It was just that the senior brother had a fierce expression. It was just a fight. What was there to laugh about? The coachman hugged the tiger's head, lay on the white tiger's body, and laughed heartily, making Lin Yu wonder if he might laugh himself to death. "Aha, your personalities are so similar." Others were also infected, reminiscing about past events, and they started to laugh together. The monk couldn't hold it any longer, but he forced himself to endure, though his mouth was nearly reaching his ear. Instead, I didn't dare to say anything. Lin Yu also triggered laughter from others. He suppressed his amusement and said, Amitabha, this resembles a monk. With a snort, he laughed again. What are you laughing at? Is it that funny? Your sense of humor is so low, isn't it? Lin Yu and senior brother complained, but seeing everyone else laughing, it felt inappropriate not to join in, so they forced a stiff smile, aligning with the laughter of the big shots. Fayao slapped the table and laughed heartily. Lin Yu who won. Lin Yu glanced at him and noticed his difficult expression, feeling a bit troubled. Now it's a dilemma. It seems I can't say anything. There's obviously a story here. If I say it, will there be any consequences? He seems like he shouldn't answer this question. Look, Yan Jun's face is all red. At that moment, the senior brother quickly intervened, saying, of course I won. He is still far from being able to beat me. Everyone laughed and said, Yanjun, you must cultivate Professor Wang. He truly embodies your teachings. Yan Zhen's expression was grim, and the senior brother asked in confusion, Masters, what happened back then? Faizi laughed and said, back in the day, Yan Zhen was just like Professor Wang, wanting to recruit someone from the Supreme Academy. Who would have thought your master would end up beating you? This is too similar to what you're doing now. Yan Zhen was about to explode. Seeing this, Fu Yezi quickly shut his mouth, and the sword god coughed twice and said, all right, all right. Look at Yan Zhen's little expression. Be careful after dinner. He might come to your academy to poach people, and then you will be in trouble, since besides me you can't beat him. Ah, the driver held down the still looking down white tighter, pinching the skin on his neck, and whispered, make sure to work hard in your training. Understand? Bai Hu nodded helplessly, but in his heart. Yet you complain. While I have to work hard to cultivate, as a beast master, you just sleep every day. How miserable I am. At this moment, Yan Zhen finally spoke up, saying it was just a joke to lighten the mood, and that Fu Yezi was mistaken, so everyone shouldn't listen to him. The sword god smiled and said, right, let's lighten the mood. Those past events are just bygone memories, best left unmentioned. Others chimed in, saying, yes, we all understand, it livens up the atmosphere. What do you know? Yan Zhen silently cursed in his heart. Master brother suddenly said, hey, Lin Yu, are you outdoors? Yes, in the 100-flower forest. Doing tasks in Beihua Valley? Teacher Lin Yu replied, is it dangerous, senior brother? Lin Yu said, I am outside the valley and I left the task to my clone. As soon as the voice fell, the scene went silent. From now on, don't call me a big dog again. This kid is 100 times more of a dog than I am. At least when I go hunting, I do it alongside my beast companion. The driver vented his frustrations, feeling unhappy at being called a big dog. Now someone has finally surpassed him. He plans to pass this glorious title to Lin Yu. Yan Zhen also encountered that his doppelganger talent was quite suitable for the Yuji Academy. You might as well go to the coachman's academy. The coachman froze at the words. His academy didn't lack for people, so one more or one less didn't matter, but Yan Zhen was stirring the pot again. With a thud, the sword god slapped Yan Zhen on the head. The coachman immediately said, I'm not like someone, I never steal from others. Yan Zhen dodged the sword god's hand and smiled. Just a joke. Let's drop this matter. I've eaten and drunk enough today. It's time for me to sleep. Fu Yezi, arrange a premium room for me. After speaking, he stood up and left. The others shook their heads upon seeing this, exchanging a few pleasantries. They also left one after another. In the end, only the sword god, the senior brother, and Lin Yu were left. The sword god said, Lin Yu, you have great potential. Welcome to the Supreme Academy. When you arrive at the academy, I'll welcome you properly. There are too many unexpected changes in the order. I cannot be away for too long. Zhu Yang, on your way back, bring Lin Yu with you to the academy. No need to wait until the college entrance exam is over. Come early." Zhu Yang nodded and said, "Yes, master." The sword god said, "All right, I will go ahead." After the sword god left, the senior brother said, "Master is just that kind of person. 9 out of 10 days are spent coming. In the order of fighting monsters, however, if you go to the academy, perhaps this title of the greatest monster hunter will fall upon you. Hi, are you waiting for me to inherit? I'm taking a break tonight. Tomorrow I will take the Void train to pick you up. Remember to keep your phone accessible at all times." Ling Yu went in, feeling excited, kept nodding. She can finally leave the inheritance and move on to a higher realm. Order, I have arrived. Chapter 75. On the way, an unexpected turn of events occur. Wow, the sound of the Void train is slowly coming from afar. Many passengers had already been waiting in the open space outside the city. They watched as the train slowly approached, taking out their tickets and waiting quietly. The Void train, like a swimming dragon, glides through the emptiness. Only when they reached the sky above the city did they slowly descend. Clang, the light swayed. The train made intimate contact with the ground, creating a tremendous sound. The vehicle swayed slightly, but the faint light emanating from the body of the car forced to stabilize. With a series of creaking sounds, the train doors swung open. The attendant stepped out of the train door and stood outside, smiling while waiting for the passengers to board. Of course, their main responsibility is still ticket checking. Finally arrived, amidst the crowd, Lin Yu let out a sigh of relief. Looking at this magnificent Void train, I felt a deep sense of astonishment. Inheritance is ultimately just a small place where the high-tech products are limited. And this Void train can fly in the sky. I don't know if it's purely technological means or mixed with some magical methods. As everyone rushed in, Lin Yu didn't know which carriage her senior brother was in, so he didn't go in directly. After waiting for a while, they indeed saw someone carrying a bottle of wine. The elder brother is quietly sipping tea. Walking out of the carriage with a smile, she looked at him with a grin. Lin Yu smiled as she recalled and walked over. "Senior brother." "Okay, let's go get in the car." "All right." Inside the car, the senior brother stared at Lin Yu for a long time. Lin Yu felt uncomfortable under the gaze and suddenly thought of something. Quickly opened the backpack, took out the wine gourd, and handed it to senior brother. Master brother saw the long-lost wine gourd and sighed. He took the wine gourd, opened the lid, and glanced inside. Where's the wine inside? He clearly remembers putting down 10 gin of wine back then. Even after drinking half later, it still needs to be 5 pounds. Lin Yu gave a wry smile and said, "Senior brother, Lin Fan drinks too much. Don't hold it against him. Lin Fan, this guy is greedy for food and drink and also lazy." Lin Yu wondered where this guy's personality came from. Anyway, he is quite diligent. It shouldn't be due to his personality. Lin Fan Kate is drinking, forget it, forget it. "It's just a little wine," he said, as he held the bottle of wine in his hand. The morning wine gourd is handed over. This is the fine wine he obtained from his master, Fu Yeazi. It was even more luxurious than what he used to drink. "Lin Yu, have a drink." He poured wine into the wine gourd. Shaking his head, Lin Yu said, "Senior brother, I don't want to drink now. If we encounter danger on the way to Guizhou, drinking can easily lead to mistakes." Lin Yu is very cautious and values life highly. He didn't want to delay things or even lose his life because of drinking. Master brother Wenyin fell silent for a moment, gently hung the wine gourd around his waist. "You are right. This time I won't touch a drop of alcohol, brother." He recalled the events of this encounter. Being falsely accused, too naive to resist. Without the master, he would have become a victim. He has become more mature. Lin Yu also straightened slightly. This personality doesn't quite resemble that of the senior brother. However, thinking about the setbacks he experienced, it is through setbacks that one matures. This statement still makes a lot of sense. At that moment, the sound of the crew's announcement reached my ears. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the flight created by Void Technology, Void Train Jinping. This flight is from Jicheng to Nanjing City. Experiences along the way to ensure train navigation and the normal operation of communication information systems. During the train's ascent and descent, please do not wear a watch." With a loud bang, the train departed. Lin Yu curiously looked out the window. As the train climbs higher and higher, the outline of Jicheng appeared before my eyes. Just thinking about leaving soon, he surprisingly felt a sense of nostalgia for this place. As Jicheng gradually faded away, this feeling is growing stronger. "That's it, I will come back again in the future. This is just a temporary departure," Lin Yu thought to herself. Just thinking about heading to a broader world, he was filled with fighting spirit. The train's speed is getting faster and faster. The scenery outside the window rushed by. "Dear passengers, the train is about to arrive at the next stop, Yuanchen. Please get your luggage ready. Do not forget your belongings on the train." Everyone along the way appreciated our work, provided strong support. I would like to express my gratitude to everyone. We look forward to you riding our train again next time. Finally, please disembark with beautiful blessings. Please leave your valuable feedback with us. Thank you. How long has it been? The train descends. Stopped outside the city of Yuancheng. Someone gets off the car. Someone got on the bus. This scene is very similar to the high-speed train station from my past life. This time, there was no long stop. Then, Lin Yu was chatting with the senior brother. The train took off again. The elder brother said, "The return journey is far from here. The city in the southern frontier is the closest to Gixu. We need to get off there." Then, "You are willing or not. Shall I take you to the academy?" "That's not acceptable," Lin Yu said. "I want to see more about the situation over there. It's more important to feel than to care." "Good boy. That's a good idea. But don't worry. If we really encounter any danger, I will take you away immediately." The senior brother touched the wine gourd at his waist, forcing myself not to think about drinking. "Speaking of, this stretch of road is dangerous, but there won't be any fierce beasts. Otherwise, I wouldn't dare to fly." Just thinking of the various flying beasts that roam the sky in Guizhou, he felt a tingling sensation on his scalp. There are too many. The strength is still very strong. Once he flew into the sky, you will immediately become a target. So, he can only fly outside of Guizhou. Inside the return home, he doesn't dare to fly. Then, booming, the vehicle suddenly shook. Lin Yu and senior brother's expressions instantly became serious. They all looked out the window. Outside is calm. At that moment, the crew's announcement sounded. "Dear passengers, the train was just attacked by a group of iron beak eagles. The train has activated the protective shield. Please don't panic." The crew's comfort did not alleviate the tension in everyone's hearts. "Senior brother, what should we do now?" Lin Yu looked at the serious-faced senior brother. Senior brother pondered for a moment. "Stay here and don't move. I'll go check the situation." As the voice faded, Lin Yu sat quietly in her seat, silently chanting the mantra of duplication. A flash of white light, 3 avatars appeared before me. Follow the senior brother. Go take a look at the situation. The 3 clones nodded. Walking forward, Lin Yu gently closed her eyes. Part of my spirit was placed in one of the avatars. At this moment, driving cabin, 5 or 6 people are standing together, anxiously looking at the scene outside the window. Countless iron-beaked eagles swooped down from the sky. Extremely fast. The first to bear the brunt is the front of the car. I was just hit once. He was flung out by the train's protective shield. Now let's crash into it again. The train conductor also nervously watched everything unfold. Their void train is a civilian train, walking in the heart of the human territory. As long as we don't encounter a beast beyond the 7th rank, can safely weather the crisis. But this time, the Iron Beak Eagle squad, although it is unknown whether there are hidden 7th-tier ferocious beasts among them, but it is far more extraordinary. I had encountered beast tides before. Most of them were scared away by the golden skeleton on the front of the car. But like this time, the flocks of birds attacked in such vast numbers, still unafraid of the intimidation from the golden skeleton. This was the first time they had encountered this since they started their careers. If it is a swarm attack, instead it feels a bit easier. After all, birds are not insects. Insects are generally weak and small. No protective cover can block how many trains come. But this bird is not weak at all. All the birds are of 2nd rank or above. And in large quantities, with each impact, the shield will run out of energy sooner or later. What should I do? Everyone was anxious. Someone has already started calling the nearby cities, requesting support. At this moment, a voice came from behind. If you can find the leader of the flock, I will cut him down. Chapter 76. Siege and Decapitation. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone present was taken aback. They scrutinized the newcomer. Only then did this person see the center of their brows. A pair of melancholic bright eyes, adding a touch of mature man's charm, hanging a gourd of wine at the waist. This indicates that the person is a lover of wine. There is also a long sword hanging at the waist. So he is a master swordsman. Everyone sensed carefully. All showed expressions of surprise. They could not sense this person's cultivation level. This person is stronger than all of them. Just thinking about the powerful ones coming, everyone greeted warmly. This gentleman, please have a seat. This gentleman, let me update you on the current situation. We just scanned with the sensor scanner. This time, the Iron Beak Eagle team, the quantity is approximately around 100,000. At least they are 2nd-tier ferocious beasts. Some of the elites are at the 3rd and 4th tiers. Even 5th tier. Currently, no ferocious beasts above level 5 have been found. However, the leader always hides, or disguise as an ordinary beast. We haven't found the leader of the beast yet. Zhu Yang furrowed his brows. He said, there are too many fierce beasts. Even for me, it cannot guarantee complete extermination. Everyone was slightly taken aback, since this person said they can't guarantee to kill them all. Doesn't that mean that as long as you pay a price, can you really kill them all? Who is this person? Even a 7th-tier strongman. I wouldn't dare to boast like that. At this moment, suddenly, a female flight attendant recognized the senior brother. Are you Zhu Yang? The name Zhu Yang. Perhaps they hadn't heard of it before. But these few days have been deafening. The sword god drew the director of the Law Enforcement Bureau, and left safely. Isn't it just to save Zhu Yang? After the matter was resolved, someone online is digging deep into the information about Zhu Yang and the sword god. Zhu Yang's photo was also found by someone. The female attendant was also very interested in this matter, participated in that excavation activity. That's how I recognized Zhu Yang. As soon as I heard it was Zhu Yang, everyone let out a sigh of relief. Zhu Yang is a 7th-tier powerhouse. With him taking action, this wave is steady. At this moment, Lin Yu's doppelganger walked over. Seeing senior brother still so reckless, slightly shook her head. If it were him, what is uncertain is absolutely not. At this moment, a giant eagle bamboo rushed toward the train from outside. This eagle is at least 30 meters long. His feathers were as if made of iron, reflecting a metallic luster. How did the beast leader appear? Everyone was slightly startled. I believe this is the leader, but I still feel very confused. Zhu Yang said, "Open the car door." I went out to take care of this. Everyone was delighted, just about to open the car door. Lin Yu's doppelganger quickly grabbed hold of the senior brother, whispered, "Senior brother, just wait a moment." No need. But the words were on the tip of my tongue. He recalled the events from a few days ago. After a moment of silence, the others saw this, not understanding why. Zhu Yang said, "Wait a moment." No one dared to urge. "We can only wait." Bang, bang, bang. The large eagle outside keeps crashing against the window. The train kept swaying. The passengers in the carriage looked outside with worried expressions. Not good. They surrounded us. Someone shouted. Lin Yu borrowed the perspective of her doppelganger. I have been observing outside. He is searching for all of this. With 3 avatars sharing the vision, his observation skills are sharp. Suddenly, a small figure entered his sight. He shouted, "Found it. Master brother, did you see that little bird?" Lin Yu pointed at the little birds quickly moving among the flock. Shouted loudly. Dashixing's vision is stronger than Lin Yu's. Soon I saw the little bird that Lin Yu mentioned. He squinted his eyes, looking at this little bird that is different from the others. He chuckled. "Junior brother, your observation skills are impressive. I'll go chop it down right now. Elder brother, please be careful. Open the car door." Elder brother said. Everyone dared not hesitate. Hurriedly opened the car door. Master brother stepped over the car door, appearing outside the train. Stand with calmness. Slowly draw the long sword hanging at the waist. Suddenly, a flash of lightning struck at my feet. The figure instantly vanished. Everyone only saw a blue arc of electricity flash before their eyes. Zhu Yang's figure has disappeared from the spot. 3,000 swords of lightning. A flash of lightning. In an instant, dozens of swords had been drawn. Hundreds of eagles ahead had their throats slit in an instant. "Stand! Stand!" A series of piercing bird cries rang out. The birds and beasts were startled and rushed towards the senior brother. However, senior brother is too fast. His figure was barely visible to the naked eye. He navigated through it, like a fish in water. However, if you look closely, you can discover his breathing became rapid. This is clearly a skill with explosive power. Cannot last. However, there is already a target in sight. The method of swift resolution is the fastest. Suddenly, a sword light cut through the void. Dozens of male birds were scattered along the way. Hush! The sword light flashed once again. Blood splattered out. That one was incredibly fast. The silhouette of a little bird wandering among the flock suddenly stopped moving. Its pupils dilated. I glanced down at the blood gushing from my neck. With a loud bang, my head is spinning, caught by Zhu Yang. It turned around. The electric light flickered again at their feet. In the next moment, having crossed the flock of birds, arrived at the car door. Back in the driver's seat, senior brother took out the little bird. Speaking of killed so easily, how long has it been really? You're too fast. Impressive. Everyone was shocked. Sigh. Praise. You are amazing. His movements were as swift as lightning. No wonder you are the disciple of the sword god. Impressive, impressive. Thank you so much. With you here, it is our honor. Do you have any orders for me? Just give me the orders. At this moment, someone pointed out the window and shouted. Look, they retreated. Indeed, with the leader's death, all the male birds have retreated. Lin Yu saw this, silently recalled the clone, but senior brother, and talked with them. Lin Yu lost interest in the details. However, when master brother returns, he took out some tickets. Speaking of, take these 3 train tickets. As long as you are within the boundaries of the human realm, you can contact them to come pick you up. Both the wilderness and the city are fine. Lin Yu slightly trembled. Senior brother, I don't need it. Here you go. You are my senior brother. My flying speed is not much slower than a train. I don't need it. Shikshin placed the train ticket on the table. I instinctively touched the wine gourd again. The wine bug is causing trouble in my belly, making him somewhat anxious. I can't wait to return to the academy and feast. He was like a hyperactive child, restlessly fidgeting. At this moment, a sweet-looking flight attendant. She approached with a smile. He pushed the food cart. They walked up to the 2 people's seats. A slight go. Mr. Zhu Yang, thank you for saving this train. This is our company's way of thanking you. I specially prepared this simple meal for you. Please enjoy. Do you have any wine? Senior brother instinctively asked, but just thinking about not being able to drink at this time. Vizzy covered her mouth. Slip of the tongue. Mouth slip. Sorry. The crew members smiled and said, there is no alcohol on the train. However, there is a flavor that has the essence of wine. There's a drink with the fragrance of milk. I believe you will like it. What is it? Milk skin? Milk skin? Lin Yu knew. This beverage. It is made from fermented yogurt and hops. The taste is sweet and sour. There's no taste of alcohol. Senior brother laughed and said, it is a beverage. Then bring it up quickly. He touched the wine gourd at his waist. He rubbed his belly again. The wine bug in my belly can't wait any longer. The attendant politely served the dishes and milk skin. Then he smiled and left. They had a table full of dishes. There are both meat and vegetarian dishes. The sumptuous feast rivaled that of a restaurant. The people in this car are truly humble. Is this really a meal reduction? Ah, let me take a bite of the milk skin and see what it tastes like. Master brother opened a bottle of milk skin. Gulu began to drink. Drank a bottle. He rubbed his belly. Speaking of, the taste is okay. Better than nothing. Lin Yu also took a sip. It really feels more like a drink. The taste is sweet and sour. There's no taste of alcohol. It's just a bit rough on the throat. My throat doesn't feel good from drinking too much. The 2 are indulging themselves here. The passengers nearby have had a tough time. They smelled the fragrance. Watching the 2 of them eat so deliciously, how can I still be in a good mood? Someone has something in their stomach. Cicadas are causing trouble. Secretly took out a box of cookies, gritting my teeth while chewing on spicy food despite the stomachache. Everyone's heart was filled with sorrow. What have I created in my mind? Why do I have to face such annoying things? Chapter 77. It turns out to be just a puppet. Nanjing City, located in the southeast of the Ren tribe's territory, Lin Yu. There are many mountains outside the city. Hilly area. The forest is abundant. The miasma hangs heavily everywhere. Ferocious beasts and flying birds roam freely. The environment is harsh. In the city of Renzu, among the 300, ranked at the top. Nanjing City was built between two large mountains.